Hi everybody and welcome back. I'm Mrs. A and today we'll have a look at some professional vocabulary. And we're going to start with you because when you work for a company, you become an employee or a worker. So an employee or a worker is a person that works for a company or at a company. I work for Enjoy English. This is the academy I work at. I am a member of the staff. We refer to the singular noun staff when we are speaking about all the workers of a company. So all the people working for a company are called staff or personnel. So we can say all the staff was fired in 2020. So remember, all the workers of a company are called staff or personnel. And you use these two words like singular nouns. For example, the staff is happy. Staff and personnel are collective nouns. It means even though they mean multiple people, you still use them in a singular. I understand that in British English you can also have the plural form. This is not something I dominate very well. In American English you would say family is, whereas in British English, you would say family are. In American English, you would say the police is, whereas in British English, you would say the police are. So, everything is correct. You choose the one that is closer to your heart. A supplier is the person that provides resources for that company. For example, if your company makes chips, the person supplying potatoes is your supplier. They bring you potatoes for you to make chips. If you are the boss or the employer, you have an executive position in your company and the authority to hire. This means to get people to work for you, or fire. This means to dismiss people at will, whenever you want to. In a normal company, you would have staff, workers, employees, but you would also have maybe some interns. An intern or a trainee is sometimes a student who is working at a company, sometimes without pay, to gain experience. If you have an intern working at your company, they are probably doing an internship, which means like a period of time agreed with the company where this intern is going to work maybe for free, maybe for a minimum pay. And it's a win-win situation. The company wins because maybe they get free or cheap workforce. And the intern also wins because they achieve experience working for that company. You can also find freelancers working for one or multiple companies. A freelancer is a person that pays their own taxes and has the freedom to work with one or more companies. Because they are their own boss, they can decide their schedule and many other things. So you would say, I am a freelancer or I am self-employed. Pay attention with job titles. You always use the article. You will always say, I am a teacher, or I am a nurse, or I am a sales assistant, or I am a manager. A volunteer is somebody who does volunteer work. Work for free, normally for a cause. We can find a lot of volunteers taking sustainable action to save the planet, and you can find them maybe cleaning the beach or looking after animals at animal shelters. Now let's have a look at the type of job and the contracts you will have. If you work full-time, then normally you work between 35 to maybe 40 or more hours, depending what is allowed in your country. So I have a full-time contract with my company, or I have a full-time job. you cover all your legal hours working for that company. Even if you wanted to take another job and work for another company, you couldn't because you're covered. And by law, we have to work a set amount of hours. If you have a part-time job, then maybe this means you work 4 hours, 6 hours, a limited number of hours for your company. And if you work part-time, you probably can work for multiple companies until you reach your legal hours. Another type of schedule is the Flexitime. Now, the Flexitime is very cool because the employee, you, decide your working schedule. You decide if you work from 6 in the morning, if you want to finish earlier in the afternoon, or you decide your own schedule. The Flexitime is great because it gives you time to pick up your kids from school or do other activities. You can have a weekend job. Now, weekend jobs are very popular to find in bars and restaurants where they need extra staff on busy days. This type of job is very popular for students. And then you can have a seasonal job. Now, a seasonal job is a job that obviously can happen only in a specific season. You can be a skiing instructor in winter. You can be a water sport instructor, possibly in summer. Or if you live in a country where it's always nice, you can do it the rest of the year. Seasonal jobs are jobs that are in high demand in specific seasons, usually summer and winter. So if you dress up as Santa Claus for the mall and receive the kids, you will only have this job during the Christmas time. So this is a seasonal job. If we're speaking about jobs, we also have the temporary job, which lasts for a limited time. For example, a lot of teachers work from September to June. As far as your contracts go, you can have a permanent contract. This is a contract that does not finish unless you are fired, unless your company lets you go. Then you have a fixed term contract, and this type of contract allows you to work for a fixed amount of time. Then we have the casual contract, and the casual contract is something you get when you work on a specific project, and it's very popular among freelancers. If a company wants to hire you, they will send you a job offer. A job offer is usually an email with a lot of details trying to convince you to apply for the job. Normally, when you apply for the job, you send the company your CV, your recommendation letter, and all sorts. An important factor to take into consideration when choosing a job is the salary or the wage. These two words are perfect synonyms. You can use them at any point in time just the same. And when you receive your wage, you will receive it along with your paycheck in the US and payslip in the UK. Now, this is usually a paper that says how much money you have received for doing your job. If you get very sick or very ill and you cannot go to work, you can get a sick leave. Now, a sick leave is a specific time you don't go to work due to a justified illness. I'm saying justified because you need to go to your doctor and get proof in order to get the sick leave. The company wants to see evidence that you are, in fact, really sick. In many cases, you can't just call the company and say, I'm sick. Although many companies offer what is known as a personal day. This means that you, as a worker, can take a personal day off for whatever the reason without having to give an explanation to your company. If you work really well, you can receive a bonus. Now, a bonus can be anything that works in your professional favor. You can get a bonus as a little plus, a little extra added to your wage. for working exceptionally well. In some cases, like for example, the real estate industry, the industry that sells houses. So if you are a real estate agent or a realtor, you normally get a commission with every sale. A commission is an extra percentage of the sale that you made. When you're looking for jobs, you're looking for job vacancies. A job vacancy is an available position at a certain company. So you will normally find it in the newspaper. This company has 4 vacancies for these job positions, for example. And let's not forget the professional verbs. When you want to hire somebody to work for you, you use to hire or to employ. For example, I hired 5 new teachers last week. 5 new teachers were employed by Enjoy English. When you are in the process of selecting staff, you recruit. Now, the recruiter is the person in charge of selecting staff. For example, in a sentence, Tom is in charge of recruiting staff. This means that he organizes the selection process and the interviews and so on and so forth. When you are not satisfied with the job of your employee or the performance of your employees, you can fire them. Now, there are a lot of synonyms here. You can say to fire somebody, to sack somebody, to lay somebody off, or to make somebody redundant. This is to end their contract because normally you are not satisfied with their performance. Some people have an office job and some people work remotely. If you work remotely, this means working from home. In a sentence, I've been working remotely for 3 years. Working remotely is working from the comfort of your house, your home office, without the need to commute. This is our very special word that is super popular, and this is a word we use so much nowadays. It's a relatively new word, and it was invented to describe your journey from work to home and from home to work. So this traffic going from work to home and from home to work is called to commute. For example, I commute for 3 hours a day. I am tired of commuting. I don't like having to commute for so long. Commuting is most of the time not paid, but it still takes a lot of time from your schedule. And sometimes people can't afford a car and they need to take public transportation, which makes the commuting time longer. To afford is to be able to buy something. Now, if you work very well, you get a raise. You get a raise when your boss increases your wage and you get more money every month. Sometimes people get a raise and sometimes people get a promotion, which usually comes with a raise. A promotion is when you get a higher job position in the same company. And this happens usually in companies that allow their employees to grow professionally. Many people need to work overtime to get that promotion. Working overtime means working more than the hours agreed on your contract. But you can always negotiate things with your boss. And if you don't like it, you can resign or quit your job and find something better and more satisfying. I'm telling everyone this, teachers are the luckiest people in the world because our jobs are the most rewarding jobs in the universe. When your job is rewarding, it means that you get so much, in our case, personal satisfaction when we see our students progressing. So it's a job that fills you up with happiness. And when we get to the end of our working life, we retire. We retire when we are 65, 67. This depends on the country. Normally after maybe 40 years of working for the same company or for multiple companies. Remember to subscribe to this channel because it's going to help me immensely, and it's a way to show that you value my work as a teacher. So if you like this video, please subscribe and help this channel grow. And of course, you have to know that this video was sponsored by EnjoyEnglish.es, the academy that brings the teacher home to you if you live in Valencia, Zaragoza, or Pamplona. For the rest of the world, please contact them for online classes. Thank you. Bye.